I was so intimidated by the language of wine that the very first thing I did was write to all the winemakers in New Zealand and email, the ones who get the email addresses for, and ask them. I asked them one. I just want to know one thing, and that was what an old winemaker knows that a young winemaker doesn't know. And I got back these responses that were so amazing. They were practical. They were poetic. They were insightful. They were wise, and I recognised then that winemaking and filmmaking are almost identical practices. So it gave me a lot of courage to just talk about wine and the journey of making wine and the hardness of your instinct, your successes, your failures. You're trying to harness the forces of nature and make something beautiful. All of those things I understand. So wine is also one human being's set of decisions all the way along the line, and so much of that is instinctive. Equally, so much of it is experience and how you keep it all in balance, and the amount of skill and faith and luck and spirit and all of the things that grow into making a wine, the same way as go into making a film. When I was at Elam, I was actually studying sculpture, and whilst I really enjoyed working with metal, and I can use a gas axe, and I like it very much, it didn't really communicate as effectively as I wanted to, and so a bunch of us were very interested in making narrative films, so we kind of taught ourselves. I remember it taking months of trying to figure out how to do it from books. I was way too frightened to ring a filmmaker, perish the thought. It just seemed so sophisticated and so foreign and so beyond me. But I'm a New Zealander, so I was going to figure it out. And my mum, I'd write these scripts and my mum would type them up at her job because she had a typewriter. Yeah. I remember being contacted by Owen Hughes, and he had a television slot for 3 half-hour dramas, and it was called Another Country, and I liked that. I liked that title a lot. And I like the idea of families a lot. I think human drama plays out most vividly in the family unit. For the first time, I was in a professional production company, and there was an office, and there were all the people that knew how to do their jobs. I think probably that's where I started to really enjoy directing actors, and entirely instinctively, because I'm not trained, and very few directors are trained in the business of directing actors for film. That's probably the part of filmmaking that I most love, that collaboration, different every time with every actor. And I loved it with those little twins, and I adored Joel Tobeck, and it was just, I think I just felt at home. That's a really great skill to learn, to put together images to tell a story and not be reliant on dialogue. And I suppose, I don't think I was so conscious of it then, but I think that's probably what I was reaching for unconsciously, a potent visual storytelling as opposed to sort of chatter, which I suppose back then I might have associated more with TV. I had a sort of very innocent utopian vision of film festivals. I thought that would be heaven, and that there would be lots of people just really interested in film and talking about film and stuff. So I was completely unprepared for the fact that it's a market, and very cutthroat one at that. So I was, quaking in my boots most of the time.
Great achievement to get there, though.
Yeah, I suppose so. I'm still terrified of Cannes. It was a proposal I made to make a 50-minute documentary. It was going to be shown on Sunday night, and that was a delight making that one, because I could go out and find all these really unusual people and who are, textbook unusual, but in fact just really good people, passionate people, and I really became terribly fond of them. It was a very good experience for all of us working on it, and the first time, in fact, that I'd worked entirely in a studio, and the idea that you could just walk along the road to a studio and spend the whole day there creating these mad little vignettes was delightful. Most of my work's quite, I like to be out in the world, it's quite landscape orientated, but there's something to be said about the studio. I think when I look back, they all seem very filmic to me. They all seem like me trying to bust out of a television screen. But television was the only venue available, and I was very grateful for it. And it's very intimate. I suppose more intimate in many ways than cinema, because these things crawl into people's houses. I had my first baby as Whale Rider was doing well in America, and so I had something so much more important on my hands. And I remember Keisha and a bunch of my friends ringing me from the premiere. It was either in New York or in LA, and they were ringing me from the limo. I couldn't go because I couldn't fly by that stage. I was absolutely enormous. And I remember having a pathetic, sad little moment about, oh gosh, all that work, and I can't be there, I can't enjoy this, all these premieres around the world, that I never attended any of them. But even at the time, I was sort of aware that it might not be such a bad thing, because when you have success in America, it's radical. It's not just head turning; it's head exploding. And I think it was probably very good for me ultimately not to participate in that. On the first morning, we were shooting in a mine, and we had to be there before dawn. And the unit people in northern Minnesota, I don't know, not having a good day, sent all the trucks to the wrong entrance in the mine. So there was no coffee and no catering. But there were lots of very, very elaborate toilets, and all the trucks lined up. And it was dark, and I was so frightened. And it was also very cold, because it was about 20 below, I suppose. And I had on 4 pairs of pants, and I needed to go to the bathroom, and I had to walk past all the trucks to get to the special bathroom that the director has. I was too scared to use. So I used just a regular bathroom that was more palatial than any, portaloo I'd ever seen. And I had to take off 4 pairs of pants, and I just thought, I was in despair. I just thought, they've got the wrong guy. They clearly have the wrong guy. I can't do this. I was so intimidated. But I got out, and the sun was coming up, and they loaded a camera, and we went into the pit to shoot a whole bunch of really big trucks. And I don't know, the second I was on the set, it was completely fine. So it's the scale of it that's intimidating. The actual business of it, the business end, it's brilliant.